Five-time F1 world champion Lewis Hamilton got his Mexican Grand Prix weekend off to a fighting start, getting in the ring with boxing legend Julio Cesar Chávez. The Mexican, considered the world's best boxer pound for pound in the early 90s and a multiple world champion, gave Hamilton a fight sport masterclass, sharpening up his attack ahead of his victory. It's not the first time that Hamilton has stepped in the ring in Mexico, with the 34-year-old taking down legendary luchador Místico in 2015. Renault has slammed the stewards for disqualifying it from the Japanese Grand Prix, dismissing its decision as neither proportionate nor consistent, but won't appeal, ultimately losing 9 points, with no new evidence for it to present on the legality of its brake bias system. The French marque was investigated post-race after its rival Racing Point submitted a detailed protest, alleging that its system was preset and lap distance dependent, meaning circuit and corner specific. But while the stewards, unable to reveal confidential technical data, found that was not the case, with the system legal and drivers using buttons on the steering wheel to change brake bias, it was deemed a driver aid as it saved them having to make a number of adjustments per lap. The revised Japanese results see Ferrari's Charles Leclerc reclaim 6th and double points finishes for both Toro Rosso and Racing Point. Daniel Ricciardo losing 6th, Nico Hülkenberg 10th. Robert Kubica has just 3 races left for Williams, with the pole leaving the team at the end of the season, but is already in talks with Haas for a simulator role he hopes will lead back to the grid. Kubica's return to F1 is miraculous, following the life-threatening injuries sustained at the 2011 Ronde d'Andorra rally, the Pole's path back to the sport via tests with Renault and then Williams. But Haas team principal Günther Steiner confirmed the squad is talking with Kubica, who could help solve its tyre issues, with FP1s and a future race drive allegedly the main stumbling block in moving forward. We were speaking about a role in our team as a test driver and need to develop the simulator still, he said. We are at a decent point, but we need to make the next step as well. Formula One's future will be revealed this week in the United States, with the sport's top brass set to present an overview of the 2021 technical, sporting and financial regulations. But while a revised race weekend format is expected, the sport won't be able to do any experimenting next year, with Mercedes and another as yet unnamed team railing against a proposed qualifying shakeup. F1 had plans to do a reverse grid qualifying race, formed in championship order at 3 events next year, but unanimous team support was needed to get it over the line for 2020. And it's a situation that Ross Brawn, F1's managing director of motorsports, lamented, with the sport needing opportunities to develop the racing and testing the only way to learn what works. It's frustrating that we've not been able to do that, but I think that's, unfortunately, the classic problem with Formula One, he said. Red Bull Racing's Alex Albon has confirmed injured Formula 2 driver Juan Manuel Correa is on the road to recovery, the Anglo-Thai driver visiting his friend after the Japanese Grand Prix. Correa sustained critical injuries in Belgium, including fractures to his right leg, requiring lengthy and complex operations, but just 7 weeks later has stood up and taken his first steps. And Albon left impressed with Correa's progress and mental toughness.
I think the first thing was just how strong he was mentally, really positive about everything. You could tell the family, himself, he was, yeah, you could see everyone was optimistic. And I think, you know, when you go into something like that, you're a bit worried to see him initially, but once you saw him, it was great.
Two-time F1 world champion Fernando Alonso will compete in the Dakar next year as part of a 4-car entry for Toyota, with the event held for the first time in Saudi Arabia. Alonso tested for Toyota this year in both Namibia and Poland to prepare for the dunes. He's teamed up with experienced rally raid navigator Mark Comer, who has almost 2 decades in the sport. Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.